Well, how diddly fuckity do there, lovelies? I am the Fragnostic, here with a mini special of our new beat 'em up worshipping series. You what, son? As requested by long-time viewer Michael's, mate. I'm not using that term in the strictest definition of itself. As far as I'm aware, the relationship between Michael and said person is strictly platonic. You, of course, don't need to know any of this, but as I'm sure you're aware by now, my commentary tends to include every banal thought that runs through my head. What are Michael's reproductive habits? Does he take one mate for life, like the swan or the pot-bellied seahorse? Or is he more like a perpetually horny primate living in a closed community, or troop, where he currently enjoys his pick of one of several females, but does so with the troubling knowledge that as he grows inevitably older and weaker, his fierce rivals will one day succeed in toppling him from his hierarchical perch by smashing him in the head with a rock mid-shag? Michael, we await a detailed response in the comments section. But to the request itself, which was, will you make a video on the Sega Genesis version of Golden Axe? To which the response was, some of it, I guess. So by and large, it's the same game as the arcade original, so I don't really want to make you sit through the whole thing again when the last episode was a start to finish playthrough, but I will show you the super hilarious bonus stage of the Genesis port, as well as Death Adder's idiot son, Death Adder Jr. Here he is. What are fighting? He only shows up as the boss of the console exclusive beginner mode, which ends at stage 3. It really is exactly what it sounds like. An alternate reality of Golden Axe where all the enemies are afraid to hit you and are actually dead a split second before you press the attack button. You're mocked for as much in the ending screen here that encourages you to master beginner mode, as if anybody with functional thumbs and a brain that allows you to tell the difference between watching the TV and raping it wasn't already born with that ability. But if you're still unsure, hey, by all means, go in for another round. Or alternatively, go and try to watch some TV right now. And if you find yourself blown across the living room wondering what you did to make the pretty weather lady hate you so, you've probably found your level here. Back in Big Boy Pants land, the final showdown with Death Adder is, like all combat in the Genesis port, actually a bit tougher than the arcade version. Once you've humbled his pet giants, his two brown-nosing skeletons dash on screen, and Death Adder wanders out the door in the background, rather than being formed from snakes and exploding out of a pile of corpses as in the original. Now, most notably, because you reach this screen in the Genesis port through a separate transition to the rest of the stage, you're robbed of the chance for the easy victory you can get in the arcades, because the game takes away your dragon, so you've got no choice but to fight him hand to hand. And while Death Adder himself continues to be nothing special, these stupid fucking skeletons will take every opportunity they can muster to move behind you and beat the screaming Christ out of you, so a lot of this fight is about maneuvering yourself into a position where you're not going to get murdered the minute you try and commit to a combo. It's fairly easy to bait him into a near endless loop, where he'll attempt his ground projectile, you leap over it and fuck him in the back of the head with your sword, and just repeat that until he departs from this cruel world where nobody will stay still long enough to be knocked down by a sweet magic trick that he bullied a wizard into showing him one time. They're still there, don't you worry. He's just hoisted them up higher because he's sick of them making fun of his outfit. But this time around you actually get a thank you. In the arcade they were too fucking good to talk to peasantry like you, but not here. Take my utmost gratitude for our rescue, yada yada yada. Give me my damn treasure, or your wife. But what's this? But I have a feeling that he might have been taking orders. Come to think of it, not a few times did he disappear into that door. Will you not go into battle for me once again? And I mean, you don't get to say no, because if you look at where the speech bubble arrow is pointing, it really indicates that you're just ranting to yourself at this point, and the king and queen are just huddled at your feet, terrified at which of your split personalities is going to win the argument over whether they get sacrificed to your primitive war god or not. But here we go, stage 7, the meat of your Genesis bonus content right here. And this is awesome for a number of reasons, not least because you get to listen to the amazing Death Adder theme for a whole level, but also because you can kill practically everything by throwing it down a pit. Sometimes you don't even need to throw them. Here you go. Jump across and fight me, skeletal knave. What an imbecile. Look at this. Here they come. What an absolute joke. Oh no, not the greys. Please don't probe me. See, I like to think that by this point these guys know what they're up against and choose to just casually die in the pit. No, not fighting him. He just beat Death Adder to, death. What fucking chance do you think I stand? And I mean, you can really just use this tactic right the way through the stage here. One of the more noticeable changes in the combat on this port is that they gave Axe Battler the advantage he was supposed to have in the arcade version, which is that his attack reaches a little bit further than anybody else's, whereas before it was the same as Tyrus's. Besides that, everything's got more health. I mean, you do as well. You can take quite a few knocks before dropping a bar on the Genesis, unless it's a boss that gives you a wallop or one of the skeletons gets hold of you. That guy's a lost cause. There's literally no way you can kick him that won't send him to his death or put your magic pot just far enough off screen that you can't have it. Jesus Christ. It's a good thing they can't use those magic pots themselves. They'd have enough between them to summon the fucking Dormammu. Alright, here's a game I like to call The Pit is Hungry, the pit must feed. I hear it calling to me in the cold and lonely night. Come worm, it sings of your bones. The pit is still hungry. It smells you, but it hungers still. Little green man, the pit asks that I chew you up a little. That'll do. But the pit is still hungry. It's insatiable, never truly full. Perhaps the pit has worms or something. Who can say? Oh, motherfuck. Now we gotta deal with these damn knights. Kneel before Sir Fraggers of Fraggingham, thou golden clowns. I actually find this to be a bit tougher than the final boss himself. They won't go down that pit easily. They won't charge at you, and you can't really charge at them because they'll see it coming from a mile away and swat you down with their ludicrous attack range. There, look, you see? Walking on thin air. We'll nuclear blast him in there though. Physics will have him, by God. These are the same knights right the way through the game, by the way. They just keep getting promoted. Life under Death Adder's command is surprisingly merciful. Ah, did those nasty heroes beat you up with their cockatrice? Yes, it was dead scary. I messed myself. There, have a promotion. Yay! Sit your ugly ass back down. Alright, here's the true final boss, Deathbringer. Once again, he's tougher than Death Adder, but the real problem in this fight is the fucking skeletons. And this time, good luck ever killing them. It's possible, but these are two unique skeletons in that they have 50 bars of health each. 50. Which is actually way more than Deathbringer himself, so chances are you'll kill him long before you ever get close to putting them away. Deathbringer has the same ground pound attack that his pussy apprentice did, except it spirals out in multiple directions, and if you let it hit you, or indeed if he knocks you down at all, he'll automatically cast one of the hero's higher level magic spells upon your prone body. And you'd better hope to God that it doesn't turn out to be Tyrus's dragon attack. This is all positioning, where you need to get the skeletons far enough away from you that you can launch an attack on Deathbringer without getting the piss beaten out of you from behind. This is really like one of those mobile puzzle games, where you're waiting for shit to fall in a straight line, you know? Son of a bitch, nearly had it then. If you can get them all lined up, your problems are over. Looking around, wouldn't you say this is a somewhat sinister looking throne room for a supposedly benevolent king and queen? Because that's what this is, you know? Death Adder is supposed to be holding them hostage in their own castle, and also to have stolen the golden axe from the game's title, which is a legendary weapon capable of bringing great death and destruction in the wrong hands. But look at that throne. Does any lawful good leaning throne have fucking skulls on it? I think we've picked the wrong side here. We're just replacing one maniac with another, aren't we? Should have stayed out of it. Should have kept your noses out. I guess he could have imported his own throne. But then the idea of all-powerful villains redecorating and engaging in home design always kind of undermines their threat level for me. You know, yes, I've raised this grand and evil army. Yes, I've swept through these lands, bringing untold woe and misery unto his people. But this throne, with these curtains, no, this will never do. And get this carpet up, clashes with the chandeliers. Christ almighty, who put this skirting board in? Look at this. Look, I'm gonna have to get some dwarves in here to fix this. Have we enslaved any dwarves yet? Get down those mines. Give me some dwarf carpenters. This is a disgrace. And speaking of undermining, this boss fight, this extra level, kind of undermines the power and legendary status of the Golden Axe itself, don't you think? Because Death Adder has the Golden Axe, Yes, here we go. 3 little pigs all in a line. Got you now, fuckers. Bingo. No, you get back up here right now. You get in line and die. No wandering off from the group. This is it, here we go. Fuck you! That's your lot, pal. That's your sausage cooked. That's an interesting glitch on the axe there. Who needs the golden axe when you got the neon axe of fabulousness? Yeah, this whole interior design angle's starting to make sense now, isn't it? Thank you, Gallant 1. Now the people will be able to live, to build, to prosper in peace. May you be titled the Grand Master, Guardians of the Kingdom. Now prepare for a feast. Grand feast! To praise your act of bravery and deeds of courage. Yes, let's eat until we're sick all over the bastard place. Feast! Grand feast! Finally, you have defeated all of the evil clan. The land shall revive in peace, and the people will talk of your deeds as a legend in the years to come. Well, I mean, I'd rather have them talk of my deeds as hard historical fact rather than legend, but I guess you can't expect miracles from a bunch of idiots that built their village on a turtle, can you? Oh good, we can't go out the shops for 6 months because it's swimming off to its fucking breeding grounds. This should be fun. Woken up at 4 in the morning by a giant turtle dick smashing the 2nd floor off your house. Good shout, that. Anyway, you don't get the original ending on the console version where everybody jumps out the arcade machine and chases those screaming kids down the road because, I guess you're not playing an arcade machine, so instead, here's a big list of everybody's height and weight. A lot of people died to bring you this vital information, sneaking up behind them with measuring tapes and scales and shit, so the least you can do is sit through all 8.5 minutes of it. These are the longest credits in the world. Look at the bronze Longmoan right there. 253 pounds to the gold Longmoan's 164. Does he really look nearly 8 stone heavier than that dude? Isn't gold heavier than bronze? The fuck, golden axe. There's the Amazonians. If you're thinking their names are a little Russian sounding for Amazon warriors, it's because they're named after brands of vodka. Same as the foot grunts back there, Longmoans and Henninges. They're named after a whiskey distillery in Scotland and a brewery in Germany, respectively. Skeleton, 89 pounds. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that at 5'2", with a skeletal weight of 89 pounds, this lot died of grotesque obesity. Your bone weight makes up roughly, what, 15% of your body weight, so while alive, they would have had to be weighing somewhere in the region of, what, 600 pounds? 5'2" and 600 pounds. That's not a man, that's a half-finished garden wall. Somebody really wanted a drink while they were naming this lot, didn't they? Sergeant Malt and Sergeant Hop, Colonel Bitter, Heartland is a Japanese beer. If you're wondering why all the bosses are so fucking enormous in this game, I mean, that's a general design choice in most video games, especially the beat 'em up genre, but Golden Axe came up with a legitimate reason for it, which is refreshing. Basically, the story goes that years before humans graced the earth, there was a race of evil giants that challenged the gods for supremacy over the earth, like the titans of Greek myth, who were of course soundly defeated, but Death Adder is supposed to be the sole surviving member of that race, who then tricked mankind into giving him the golden axe, which, as we've already established, isn't difficult given how stupid the people in this game seem to be. Blue Thief's got pot if anybody wants. It's good shit. He'll take everything you own while you're out of your mind dribbling all over yourself after like one joint, but man, what a rush. So there, Death Adder's a literal ancient giant, and he used the power of the golden axe to make more, which kind of puts Deathbringer in a neither here nor there kind of position, because not only is he a rank above Death Adder, but he also has a better weapon, the party axe of getting on down. What's the point in going to the trouble of getting the golden axe if you've already got a better one? You never hear of it again after this game. Shouldn't you lock that one away at least? Seems pretty deadly. Seems like it can summon unkillable skeletons and shit. They kind of fixed that when they remade it for the PlayStation 2 in the Sega Ages 2500 series, which were a bunch of 3D remakes of old Genesis titles that only came out in Japan, by having a second fight with Death Adder replace the one with Deathbringer. You beat him outside the palace and he just runs away and waits for you again inside, which I guess fixes the canon, but kind of cripples his badass made of snakes and death and black magic image a bit. Look, you thought that was the Queen, didn't you? There is some wrong shit afoot in the Firewood Kingdom. No wonder you got a bunch of 3-foot tall villagers running around. With all the damn inbreeding going on around here, it's a shock they don't literally have 3 feet. Now this is what I like to see. Differences put aside for a nice game of word ball. The exciting new educational game for kids. Has there ever been an exciting educational game for kids? I guess Snakes and Ladders teaches you, fuck you because I said so. And Battleship teaches you that you can really make a movie out of anything. And get Liam Neeson to star in it. Why, Liam? What did they pay you? Did Milton Bradley have your children? Not so simple to get them back in real life, is it, Liam? I hear they still got him, and they'll give one back when he plays a rancher in the Buckaroo adaptation. Anyway, this goes on forever, so I'm not going to make you sit through all of it. Streets of Rage next month. See you there, lovelies.